Hi there, I'm Justine. I'm standing on a farm in Spring Hill, Tennessee. So I'm from upstate New York originally, outside Albany. I grew up in a farming family. You know, when most people think of New York, they think Times Square and Manhattan, but that's not the case. Most of New York is really dairy and apples. But I moved here for work in 2016 and I was trying to figure out where I fit in Southern religion, which is kind of tricky when you grew up as a Catholic in the Northeast. So I saw a sign for a cowboy church and I went to it and sure enough met a cowboy. Danny at the time was in his mid-60s and we had our first conversation after service about fescue and it felt good to talk shop. So it didn't take long for me to share with Danny my big plans for my house in College Grove, Tennessee, where I own about 1.5 acres. I was gonna get chicks, plant a garden, do all that good stuff. And Danny was just so polite and so kind, and he knew I had no idea what I was doing. But he offered to help me, and you know, we began a really beautiful friendship. And he never had kids. My family was far away, and I would say, you know, it was more like I was a surrogate niece. You know, in his obit, they called me his honorary niece, which was very sweet. Danny got really sick in February, and he passed away this past July. Before he passed away, he sold me 40 acres from his farm. This farm's been in his family for a long time, so he sold me a small piece of it. And I've got my work cut out for me, and it's obviously very challenging to do what I'm trying to do without him here. I'm a lawyer for a living, but I really make my life in the dirt and with animals. I moved here for, like I said, a job in 2016, didn't know anybody. And we consciously uncoupled from corporate in early June, which was really a blessing because it gave me 6 weeks to spend with him before he died. And we did a lot of our bucket list stuff he wanted to do. We went to his favorite restaurants. We went down to our favorite Western store in Alabama called Preston's, which actually just sold to French's, but it's more or less the same. And we spent a lot of good time together. You know, Danny was someone who took me under his wing. He taught me how to process chickens. He taught me how to, we built a greenhouse together. We built a chicken coop together. We planted a lot of stuff. He taught me how to ride horses. He was that phone call when you needed to talk to a good friend. And it's been really, really hard without him. And I sure have my work cut out for me. This here is a stock barn. That's got to come down, so I'm trying to figure out how the heck to get that down and build a new one. Behind me, I think they're behind that big pile of brush, but there's 2 quarter horses that are now mine, and you know, I never cared much for horses or horse people, and now I have 2, and I love them. They're kind of like big dogs. They're very sweet, and they're being camera shy right now, but trying to figure out how to care for them. That's a project. And then here, I've been working on an orchard this year. I've got apple trees, pear, peach, cherry, mulberry, blueberry, raspberry, all of the fruits. You know, and people say, well, you shouldn't bury feelings, but I think in a literal sense, when you're truly working in the dirt and you're burying your feelings that way, I think it's acceptable. It's kind of been my saving grace to be able to spend time on this land while Danny was real sick, and now that he's, you know, passed on, when I'm here, I just feel his spirit all around me. And it's an incredible gift to have this opportunity of 40 acres to turn into something beautiful and pay homage to what he was about and what our friendship meant. And the purpose of this YouTube, a few things. One is that so family and friends from far away can see what I'm up to, keep tabs on me, probably correct me when they see me doing things that are wrong. I know my family who knows what they're doing in New York will probably leave some good comments. I think I also want to have an opportunity for people to probably learn from my mistakes, because I know I'm going to make a ton of them without Danny here to help me and give me advice. Although I have to say the community's been really kind and has sort of welcomed me more or less into their world. And also I think part of this is to encourage people. This is very intimidating. This is a very intimidating chapter, but I'm really excited about it. I know I'm going to make a lot of mistakes, but I also just want to show you that you can do it. I'm going to do it. It's gonna be probably a lot of comedy, not intentionally, but it will be. And I hope that you enjoy, you know, what I'm gonna put forward. I hope you enjoy the content. Right here this weekend, I'm working on basically building a living wall. My friend built this arbor for me. I've got 4x4s that are 10 feet long, 2 feet are in the ground. I'm putting concrete. And I'm going to try to espalier some apple trees, kind of create a living wall that demarcates the orchard from what's gonna be the garden. And I just put a bunch of strawberries in the ground. My to-do list is really, really long, but I hope that you enjoy. I hope that you share comments, feedback, advice. I appreciate all of it. Thank you.